Daily Pink Slip.
From UFOs and sea monsters to ghostly specters and countless conspiracy theories about our own place in the universe, we're counting down 12 photos that defy explanation. These photos should not exist. Number 12. February 25th, 1942, 3:16 a.m. It's been only 3 months since Japan attacked Pearl Harbor, thrusting the United States into World War II. A calm and quiet night is suddenly awakened by the sound of air raid sirens triggered throughout Los Angeles County. With a total blackout ordered, the U.S. military's 37th Coast Artillery Brigade activated an armada of spotlights and began searching for what many soldiers believed were incoming Japanese bombers. For the next hour, 50 caliber machine guns and 12.8-pound anti-aircraft shells were fired into the air, more than 1,400 in all. Finally, at 4:14 a.m., the barrage was halted and dead silence once again gripped the night. What was the U.S. actually firing at? Nobody knows. A subsequent investigation confirmed that no such Japanese air raid ever took place. To this day, conspiracy theories continue to run amok. Everything from a weather balloon to extraterrestrial visitation to an unannounced military air raid drill have all been proposed. The day after the incident, Secretary of the Navy Frank Knox held a press conference calling the entire ordeal a false alarm due to anxiety and worn nerves. But the press and the public were convinced that a cover-up was taking place. What was really in the skies that night? Whatever the cause, over 2 million locals were awoken from a dead sleep and terrified out of their minds. Number 11. Back in 1964, Jim Templeton was enjoying a day with his family to Berg Marsh near Solway, Firth, a large inlet on the Irish Sea. On this beautiful sunny day, he decided to take pictures of his 5-year-old daughter. Eventually, Jim would go on to develop the photographs, but what he saw next would make his jaw drop. Jim had taken a series of 3 photographs, all of the same composition. The first and last were normal portraits, but the one in the middle defied explanation. Standing behind his daughter's head appeared the figure of a futuristic spaceman in a white suit and helmet. Where had it come from? How was this possible? On numerous occasions, Jim testified that he remembered seeing no one behind his daughter when the photos were taken. Now, Kodak thoroughly scrutinized his negatives and determined they were genuine. Jim took his photo to the police to report the mystery, and they laughed at him. The local newspaper, however, was more than happy to publish the photos, and with days, news had spread all over the world, an impressive feat in an age prior to social media. The only explanation given to date is that the spaceman is actually a woman in a bright dress who was passing through the background. Now, theorists speculate her dress was overexposed, hence the whitewashed appearance. Even if this theory has merit, what explains the presence of a space helmet? Is this an optical illusion? Or did a futuristic spaceman photobomb this cute little girl for one frame and then vanish into thin air? Is this a case of time travel? The mystery remains unsolved. Number 10. In the depths of the Baltic Sea lies a relatively recent find made only in 2011. Discovered by Peter Lindberg and Dennis Esberg and their Swedish Ocean X diving team, this strange 200-foot diameter circular stone structure appears to have a little bit too much geometry to be brushed off as a natural geological feature. The large formation appears to rest atop a wide pillar. It even has a staircase leading to the top. Some suggest that the structure is a World War II-era anti-submarine device. Others theorize it's just the remains of a battleship gun turret. Samples taken from the structure have been confirmed to contain limonite and geothite, 2 metal compounds not normally found in nature. Most describe the strange object as the quote-unquote Millennium Falcon of the Sea because of its analogous shape to the iconic Star Wars spacecraft. Is this a ruin from an ancient civilization? Is it the calcified remains of a 19th or 20th century ship? Or is it just a random rock formation sticking out like a sore thumb at the bottom of the Baltic Sea? Number 9. May 11th, 1950. After having just fed her rabbits, Evelyn Trent was walking back to her farmhouse in McMinnville, Oregon. Suddenly, out of the corner of her eye, she saw a strange metallic disc floating high in the air and heading in her general direction. She screamed for her husband to come and observe what she was witnessing. Equally stunned, Paul Trent ran into the house, grabbed his camera, ran back outside, and just managed to get 2 shots off before the object flew out of sight. Paul and Evelyn Trent loaned their negatives to not one, but several news agencies and astronomers throughout the course of the next 30 years. In the early years, most investigators agreed that all the facts lined up and that the photographs were real. All were convinced the McMinnville UFO was not a hoax. Nearly 3 decades later, with the assistance of computer image processing, a handful of skeptics tried to prove that the story was indeed fabricated. They claimed the shadows on the house were consistent with morning light rather than evening light, the time at which the Trents allegedly claimed to have seen the UFO. Fast forward to 2013 with even more advanced imaging software, two new skeptics claim their analysis revealed the UFO was nothing more than a circular hollow model suspended from a wire. To this day, many UFO believers don't accept the findings of the skeptics and remain convinced that the UFO in the photo is real. Evelyn died in 1997, Paul just 1 year later. Both insisted to their graves that what they saw in the skies that day was real. The legend has become an annual parade in McMinnville, with visitors dressing themselves in alien costumes and sharing their UFO stories. But is it just that, a story? Paul and Evelyn were proud to have never taken a single dime from the news media. Seems like an awful lot of work for no payoff. Still, one question remains. Were we visited by aliens in the small farm town of McMinnville in 1950? Or is this black and white photograph one of the greatest hoaxes of our time? Number 8. Located in a small valley in central Norway is the region of Hessdalen, home to some of the strangest light displays ever witnessed by man. The earliest accounts of strange unidentified lights date to the 1940s. However, the strongest occurrences were recorded between 1981 and 1984. Between those years, hundreds of lights were reported in the sky at times. The typical number of reportings was about 20 per week. Since 1984, the number of sightings has decreased dramatically. However, about 20 incidents are still reported every year to this day. The fame of the Hessdalen Lights has turned into a minor tourist attraction, drawing thousands of inquisitive spectators every year. The lights seem to have a mind of their own. They drift across the horizon, disappear, then reappear at will. Some lights have been reported as being brighter and larger than the moon, but then they vanish. Dozens of recording stations have been deployed along the Hessdalen Valley since the mid-1980s in order to capture the phenomenon and find the cause. Even with nearly 30 years of data, scientists and theorists are still dumbfounded. One possible explanation attributes the natural combustion process involving clouds of dust from the valley floor containing scandium. One recent hypothesis suggests, and I quote, "The lights are formed by a cluster of macroscopic Coulomb crystals and a plasma produced by the ionization of air and dust by alpha particles during radon decay in the dusty atmosphere." What? Hey, their guess is as good as anyone's. So is there an actual scientific explanation for this phenomenon? Or are these just airplane headlights, car lights, or a series of mirages produced by temperature variation in the atmosphere? What's really going on in Hessdalen? Number 7. A day forever seared in the hearts and minds of Americans, November 22, 1963, was the day the 35th President of the United States, John F. Kennedy, was assassinated in Dallas, Texas. Arguably no greater story for conspiracy theories, the Warren Commission, a 10-month-long endeavor, concluded that Lee Harvey Oswald was the lone gunman. Yet more than 50 years later, conspiracy theories are still alive and well. Take, for example, the Babushka Lady. She was ascribed this name because of the distinct headscarf she was seen wearing, a scarf commonly worn by elderly women of Russian heritage. Immediately after the shots rang out and the crowd began to run for cover, the Babushka Lady is seen time and time again, standing still, capturing the action with her camera, seemingly unconcerned for her safety. Who was this mysterious woman? Why did she not duck for cover? Did she know the shooter? Was she part of the assassination plot? Or was she simply an unafraid bystander looking to capture one of the most historic moments in United States history? Despite an exhaustive search by the FBI, neither the real Babushka Lady nor her film have ever been identified. One thing is certain, someone knows who the Babushka Lady really is, and somewhere, perhaps in someone's basement, lie the negatives which recorded the close-up assassination of JFK as it was happening. Number 6. Photographed by Robert Laserick on December 12, 1964, off Hook Island, Queensland, Australia, a very large and strange tadpole-like animal is seen resting in shallow waters. The story goes like this. On board a large yacht headed towards the Great Barrier Reef with friends and family, Laserick's yacht was wrecked. While crossing Stonehaven Bay on December 12th, Laserick spotted a large animal on the lagoon floor. Amazed at what he was witnessing, he and a friend grabbed their cameras and started taking pictures of the massive creature. Eventually, they gathered the courage to swim towards it, thinking it was dead since it had not at all moved. Suddenly, the creature opened its gigantic mouth and began to swim towards them. Frightened, the two men made their way back to their small motorboat and set course for the wrecked yacht. By the time they had returned to the yacht, the creature had turned off in a different direction. Laserick described the creature as being nearly 80 feet long, with eyes located on the top of the head, a large snout, and a sleek black body with no fins, spines, or teeth to be found. The creature most closely resembled that of an eel or a salamander without arms and legs. But the controversy wasn't so much in the picture, it lied within the man. Worldwide, Laseric had an established reputation as a fraud. He was wanted by Interpol for credit fraud across Europe. Some have suggested the animal is nothing more than a large black sheet of plastic weighed down on the reef floor with a little bit of sand. Could this have been a fantastic scheme to earn quick and dirty money, or is the photo real? Do monsters of this caliber really skirt the ocean floor of the Great Barrier Reef? Most think the story is a hoax. What do you think? Number 5. Taken in 1963 by the Reverend K.L. Ford at Newby Church in North Yorkshire, England, this eerie photograph looks Photoshopped, but make no mistake, it's absolutely real. A ghostly specter stares back at the camera, nearly 9 feet tall by most estimates. It's an image that makes the hair on one's neck stand straight up. Built in 1870 and with no history of hauntings whatsoever, the Reverend who took this photograph inside the Newby Church saw no apparition when looking through the camera. The world's leading experts in photo manipulation analysis have scrutinized this photo time and time again, and they have all come to the same conclusion: the image is not a result of double exposure, nor has it been manipulated. To this day, no one can offer a reasonable explanation as to how this photo came to exist. Is this one of the best cons of all time, or are ghosts real? If so, do they have the power to manifest themselves in this earthly dimension at will? Is there a message they're trying to send us from the great beyond? Next time you visit a church, graveyard, or abandoned dwelling, you'll wonder if you're really alone. Number 4. While not actually a photo, this 15th century painting by artist Domenico Ghirlandaio depicts the Madonna with Saint Giovannino, the very name of the painting. At first glance, all appears normal. However, upon closer examination, a strange object can be seen hovering in the sky above the Madonna's right shoulder. An even closer inspection of the work reveals a man and his dog standing on a hillside behind the Madonna, staring up at the strange glowing object, almost transfixed by what they are witnessing. Emanating intense yellow rays in all directions, the object resembles that of a modern conventional flying saucer. Could this be proof that alien civilizations have been visiting Earth for tens of thousands of years? Did Ghirlandaio witness something so amazing, so terrifying, he was compelled to share it with the stroke of his brush? Many have dismissed the notion that this could be a UFO, claiming the unidentified mark is nothing more than the painter's signature. If so, why are a man and his dog mesmerized by the object? Only Ghirlandaio knows, and it's a secret he's taken to his grave. Number 3. Thursday, March 13th, 1997. Just a normal evening in the southern Arizona desert, normal until 7:30 p.m. that is. Suddenly, the phone lines come alive as tens of thousands of spectators across more than 300 miles report strange lights hovering in the sky. Emergency response operators are left speechless as to how to handle the situation. 2 distinct events are reported that evening. First, a V-shaped formation many claim was larger than a football field was seen hovering across the desert. Witnesses report an object making no sound whatsoever. As it moved, the stars behind it would disappear, then reappear, suggesting whatever was in the sky was more than just a few hovering lights. Later that evening, a series of stationary lights adorning the greater Phoenix area night sky would last for hours until mysteriously vanishing. Sometime later, the United States Air Force identified the stationary lights over Phoenix as flares dropped by an A-10 Warthog aircraft on training exercises out of Berry Goldwater Range in southwest Arizona. As for the V-shaped object earlier that evening, the military offered no explanation. The event would repeat itself 10 years later in 2007, with the Air Force once again claiming that this time, F-16s had dropped flares as part of an exercise out of the Luke Air Force Base. But if they were just flares, why did the stars disappear and then reappear inside the perimeter of the lights as they moved in formation? Why is there still no explanation for the V-shaped object which was spotted 10 years prior? Is the US military hiding secret knowledge of alien-piloted UFOs from the public? Maybe all the controversy really is over a few flares, but then again, maybe that's what they want us to believe. Number 2. Exploring the planets of our solar system has always captivated the human imagination. Since 1997, the United States has landed 4 rovers on Mars, each transmitting back stunning pictures of a planet barren of life or intelligence, or so we thought. In 2004, the Mars rover Spirit transmitted back a photo of something so astounding, spectators were left speechless. Amidst the sand and geological outcroppings stood the unmistakable outline of a mermaid perched atop a rock. Her features, uncanny. The photograph from NASA is genuine and has not been manipulated. Since this discovery, hundreds of other objects have caught the attention of analysts. Countless scientists and theorists remain adamant that the preponderance of objects scattered across the Mars desert floor could not have been produced by natural means due to their regular geometrical characteristics. This begs the obvious question: was there once a great civilization on Mars? Is it actually possible that tens of thousands of years ago Mars was home to the human race? Perhaps we were once technologically advanced beyond that of our own technology today. Was there a planetary cataclysm that forced mankind to flee in starships to our nearest neighbor, Earth? There's still so much we don't know about the history of our own civilization on this planet. What else could possibly explain such a distinguished statue perched on the red planet? Is it really just a random geological formation, or a profound link to our past? Number 1. Floating 134 miles above the Earth's surface is a mysterious object which many claim has otherworldly origins. The legend began back in 1954 when the St. Louis Post-Dispatch and San Francisco Examiner ran concurrent stories claiming that a retired naval aviation officer declared that 2 satellites had been detected in Earth orbit. But since the first satellite launched by mankind was the USSR Sputnik in 1957, how could this have been possible? Skeptics argue it's just a piece of space debris, but scientists have estimated the object's weight to be nearly 10 tons. Since the 1930s, astronomers all over the world have recorded strange radio signals, and many claim the Black Knight to be the source. One ham radio operator even claimed that the radio signals emanating from the Black Knight were decoded by him. He claimed that the mysterious satellite is over 13,000 years old and originated in the Epsilon Boöte star system. Talk about strange. Throughout the last 50 years, NASA has released numerous images verifying the presence of the Black Knight, but has not offered an official explanation. The object was most recently photographed from aboard the Space Shuttle Endeavour by STS-88 in 1998. What is the Black Knight? Just a large piece of space debris? A secret covert satellite from one of Earth's nations that they don't want us to know about? Or is it something much older, perhaps even ancient? Is it a spacecraft of some kind sent here to spy on the people of Earth? If so, is it abandoned, or is someone, something, watching us from inside? Hey guys, thanks for watching. We appreciate it. If you liked the video, do us a favor, hit that big red subscribe button right there in the middle. That way you won't miss out on the latest and greatest action from Daily Pink Slip. You can also find us on Facebook and Twitter. Don't forget to check us out on those great social media sites. New videos every week. There's always one at 10 p.m. on Monday nights, Eastern Standard Time, with other new videos scattered throughout the week. So again, make sure you hit that red subscribe button. That way you don't miss anything. If you have any ideas for videos, go ahead and shout them out at us. Also, don't forget to like and comment. And again, thanks for watching. We appreciate it.